What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades we end up taking today into the Discord. So first off, I'm going to go over SPY real quick because this kind of affected the swings that I was looking at going into today to take. So if we look on SPY here, this is the weekly contract here on the call side. So today we end up crossing negative on the 30-minute, which caused us to drop quite a bit, and then we end up reversing end of the day and pop back to the 50. So with this drop on the 30-minute and losing the 50, it was most likely we were going to see a move lower, and we did trend lower pretty much throughout the morning and into lunch, and then we bottomed out during lunch and reversed. So given that, I did get stopped out on two trades I ended up taking today for the swing. So I was just kind of using this as reference. Maybe this is something moving forward that, if the calls are crossing negative here, it's clear that it's going to cross negative. Then I will, stray away from taking any option trades along. Only reason I didn't, take it into consideration too much was because of the higher time frame 50 SMAs we were sitting at. We had the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. We ended up bottoming out at the 4 hour. That was really, really nice balance off of there. But ideally, I would love to see us drop further and go to the monthly contracts, get a bigger dip on this June contract down here. If we could get a pullback down to this 50, 4 hour 50 is at $6, and this is at $4. So to me, market's going to bottom once we pull back to this 50 SMA on the 4 hour. I'm not sure exactly what price that'll be at. If it takes a day or two, then this 50 is going to end up gradually moving up. So this is what I'm going to be looking at to gauge kind of a bottom on SPY, short term, because how hard this 50 is turning up on the daily and the 4 hour. This is probably where we're going to bottom at. And today there was some puts that got loaded on QQQ for June, I believe, or no, July. It was $18 million worth. So someone doesn't think the bottom is in just yet. And there was a lot of calls that got added the day before. Yesterday they got added. It was 18 mil worth of SPY calls for September. So that has a little bit more time than the put. So for me, I think this is going to end up pulling back at some point to the 4 hour / daily. And then whales are going to sell their puts, most likely, or sell their puts. And then that whale is going to just end up bag holding those calls all the way to new highs and get paid on it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning. Tomorrow, like I said, we end up closing at a key spot here on the 30-minute. You guys know this is a major pivot point here. We have news before open, so gonna have to see how that affects us. But yeah, for now, we are neutral. If this chart crosses back up and we flip bullish, okay, we're probably gonna see a move higher on lots of names, lots of individual names, and that's where we could kind of capitalize on some swings. But until that happens, I probably won't be entering anything new until we do hit those larger time frame levels like the 4 hour and the daily. So that's kind of the outlook on SPY. I didn't take anything on the 0DT contract. Honestly, you could have shorted every dip to the 50 on the 0DT and then played some reclaims to the 10 if you wanted, because there pretty much wasn't any reason to go long based on the 0DT chart. You could have bought these dips down in the 50, right here. This would have been obviously the only trade of the day, really. Buy this dip down to the 50 and then just ride it because of that 30-minute chart crossing negative. This gave a fat move. But yeah, other than that, really wasn't anything else to take. I wouldn't even taken this negative cross. It was super, super extended. Not something I'd be taking anyways. So yeah, that's kind of the analysis on SPY. Now, when it comes to individual names, this is kind of the watch list for tomorrow. So first one is AA. This already gave a nice move, unfortunately. I would love to see this go up to $70. So pretty much I'm looking for a pullback to 66 if that's possible, and then ride it up to 70. Daily chart here is super, super clean. You guys can see nice volume coming in. We're breaking out on the daily. And yeah, this looks really, really nice. Any dip over the next day or two to the 66, I would love to add this for a swing. Very, very strong too compared to the market today. So this is definitely a name you want to keep on watch. Will we get an entry on it? Don't know. BMNR. This was a name that had a ton of call flow last couple days that I'm going to be watching. Key levels on this chart I've marked out in red and yellow. Yellow is pretty much the targets, and then 21 the red levels are pretty much like your support levels. So this 21 to 20 area is going to be your best opportunity to grab this for a dip buy. That's kind of like your best probability. Or let's just say we don't get that. You could go to the option charts, look for that 30-minute cross on the weeklies, and you could take it like that. So I'm kind of using these in sync with one another, the regular chart and the option chart. So yeah, that's kind of what we look like on BM and I want to get this flow pulled up because I know I have it. I know I went over this one yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was. Let's see, I have it saved here. Yeah, it was a 23 call for the 21st of August, so a little bit further dated. Again, it's kind of like compensating for this pullback a bit. A lot of the flow was for June and July. That did come in, and some was like late in the year that I was watching. So yeah, these whales have it at let me see their average real quick, but they have the 23 call 821 at, let's see, at 335. So it's pretty much right at their fill. But yeah, this is one that you definitely would want to keep on watch. I mean, if we get down to this 21 to 20 area, I'll probably add it for a swing. But yeah, BMNR, that's kind of the look. You could grab it down in here, 21 to 20, ride it up to 22 to 24, 25 for targets. Yeah, Coors, another name that just looks super, super nice, very strong. Again, compared to the market, closed green, and we bounced off 22. Gave you guys this level yesterday. Actually, did I give it? I'm not sure, actually. Actually, I think I did. But 22, massive level right here, and then $20 is also your next line in the sand here for this trade, and there was also flow for this name as well. I'm probably going to be looking to take these off of like the 30-minute chart crossing on the weeklies, or what you could do is just buy the dip at the 50 on the monthlies. I know we hit that today, and I went over it yesterday that we were pretty much sitting right at it. So you could do that. Those are your two options. If you want to grab a further dated swing, grab it at the monthly 50, which we hit, or if you go shorter expiration, wait for the weekly cross on the 30-minute. But yeah, there was the 25 call for January 2027 that got added. There was 1.7 mil and then 1.6 mil. So two ads on this they got. It was at 550, and then their first ad was at 540. Contracts currently at 508. So that's definitely an opportunity you guys could grab if there's any sort of dip, or you could just grab it right now. I mean, the chart looks really good. It's plenty of time on the contracts. But yeah, Coors, that's kind of the setup that we got going. Honestly, yeah, I'd love to target $25, $27 on this if you did grab a swing. These are kind of the key levels we want to look out for. Take profits up above. 24 wouldn't really sell anything there. I'd be looking more so at these upper levels, 25, 27, 29. Those could be your three TPs on it. Oracle, this is one that I did actually get stopped out on today. So pretty much I ended up trying to buy this dip down in here. I grabbed it like literally right here. So bad entry. I ended up grabbing it, and we got stopped on this. I stopped out at, let's see, I think it was like 1040 I got out. Yeah, 1040 I got out. Right on this candle here. Got out. Or was it 1040 or 1140? I forget the exact time. It might have been 1140. Let me see. I think it was 1040 or 1140. Whatever it was. Stopped out for 40% on shorter dated, and it was like 20% on, I think I grabbed month out expiration. Or no, it was for the 29th actually I grabbed, I believe. But yeah, that was the setup on it. And also, it did look good on the option charts. It got a little bit of a dip to like the 4 hour, 50 on the weeklies. That just didn't end up holding. So ended up getting stopped out on this. Like I said, with SPY dropping a lot, that kind of, negated some of these trades today. So moving forward, that's probably going to be something I'm going to be watching out for. If that SPY 30-minute is very clear that it's going to cross down, then I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious on the longs for individual names. So yeah, these are the key levels that I got on it. We ended up holding that 185 level. Best opportunity to, like, if the market does continue to drop 175, 177.5, this is going to be your pretty much line in the sand to long this name. If we break below that, then it's most likely going to go lower. So yeah, I mean, I still love the setup here on the daily weekly chart. Looks really, really good. We ended up breaking out of this little downtrend. Now we're in an uptrend on the weekly. So It'll probably just take some time, but I believe Oracle's going to head higher, and these are the take profit levels that I have higher if you do grab a trade on this. Ideally, 200, 210, first area that you want to be selling at, and then we have these upper levels up in here if we get a really explosive move, 230, 240, 250. So that'll probably take some time. I know there's flow on this name for the 22nd. So I grabbed the 207.5 calls today. For the 22nd, I just tailed the flow pretty much, and I did get stopped. And then I'm pretty sure there was a little bit further dated flow as well. I'm pretty sure there was something for the 29th, I believe. It was like the 210 calls for the 29th. It was like over 1 million, I believe. So yeah, that was the trade I did end up getting stopped out on today. But I still love the chart. Stop outs are going to happen. But yeah, Oracle is definitely a name to keep on watch over the next couple of weeks. QCOM, there was some call flow for this name. Good amount today. Let's see, the 270 calls for the 18th. So there was like 7 million added into these. So a lot of size into these. If we look here on this lower area, 200 to like 190, I would love to see like 190 get hit. That would be an amazing spot to buy this, because if you look here, I'll pull up the monthlies for you real quick, because this chart looks really good on the system here. So if we pull up the monthlies, you guys can see right here, daily chart looks really good. If we got a dip down to this 50, that probably would end up lining up with what's called that 190 level, because I mean these contracts are at like $13. So if we got a dip lower, I'd love to add this name. Actually, they're not at $13. I'm talking about they're at $5. But if we got a dip down to this 50, that'd be a beautiful spot to add. And yeah, I mean these contracts could get a very, very nice dip down to like $2. That would be beautiful if we got this. But let's see, what these are for 618. So yeah, I mean these contracts would have to drop quite a bit to, let's see, where do they add these at? So like 484. Yeah, so they're in profit right now. They gave a pretty solid entry, but yeah, if we did get a dip lower on these contracts, that is something I'd love to add for a long, because system lines up with it. And yeah, if we came down this 195 to 200 level, that'd be a beautiful opportunity to grab the dip on this and swing it. SPCE daily chart here starting to break out. We just pulled back a little bit today. It's $3 pretty much key spot. Ideally, I'd love to see this $5 hit, $5 to $7 eventually. There was a flow hit on this name. So pretty much if we break above $3, this is going to get ripped up to 5. The 3 calls for June 18th is what the flow is for. These are pretty much sitting, I think, like right at break even for them. Yeah, the 618 expiration for the 3 calls, it was like 200K worth at 0.41. They're at 0.36. So honestly, you could grab this right now. I mean, this is a pretty solid spot to do so. Pretty much sitting right back at the moving averages. Break below 250, and that'd pretty much be your stop on this. You could target, like I said, that $5 mark up in there is pretty much where I'd want to be targeting this trade, and obviously scale along the way if you're up decent percentages. But yeah, that's what we got on SPCE. VNET. This is pretty much all these names I was getting from flow. 11 calls for the 18th. A lot of June 18th flow. This is like 300K worth into these 11 calls for the 18th. So their average is like 0.49. They're at 0.53. So they're already green on these. Daily chart looks nice. They broke out, pulling back a little bit today to this $9 mark, which is very, very key. This could be your line in the sand, or just use the moving averages as a stop. If we close below, target $10, $11, $12. But yeah, pretty simple setup. Wolf, I know there's some call flow. It was kind of mixed flow on this. I saw both put in call flow. So pretty much with this trade, I'd be looking for some sort of 30-minute cross on the weeklies based on the system. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm be looking at. I know I have a lot of levels on here. Ideally, this I want to see these upper levels. These are more short-term levels. It's 24, 25. I want to see this $27 to $30 mark for in the next couple weeks. So yeah, those are kind of the names I'm watching. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. Join the Corey if you want to learn. I'm out. Peace.